What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and when it comes to the Idaho 4 case, there is just one thing that seems to be off limits. There is one thing that you can't talk about because people automatically get triggered. Well, if you know me, then you know that I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. Now, I understand we need to do it in a respectful manner, and I'm never here to form hate mobs to attack anyone, but I'm also not going to have my freedom of speech silenced simply because some people are a little too sensitive to be watching true crime content in the first place. Now, of course, I am talking about the surviving roommate, Dylan Mortensen. There's been a lot of talk about why she did not call 911 when she heard all of the commotion, all of the ruckus that was going on in the home, and she even saw a masked intruder. Now, from the details we've been given, supposedly she heard some noises. She thought it was Kaylee playing with her dog. Then she heard some other noises. She heard people saying certain things. She came out of her room a couple of times. The last time she came out of her room, she came face to face with Bryan Kohberger, who walks right past her and just leaves, and she's like stuck in a state of shock, decides to go in her room, lock the door, and I guess Lord knows what she did until 12 o'clock the next afternoon. When she didn't call 911, she called a male friend to come to the house, who then saw that there was something that happened, who then made the decision to call 911. That is what appears to be the story. But now, a source has come forward, and the story has changed just a little bit. Now, I'm really questioning where in the heck News Nation is getting all of these sources. Because a lot of the stuff they're putting out there seems to kind of align with some of the rumors that I've seen online. But, you know, the way people work on YouTube, it's as if they don't take YouTubers' words for it often. You know, like over on my other channel, we really don't entertain mainstream media talking points. We don't really show that many mainstream news outlet clips or anything. But what I've noticed is a lot of people's content is structured around just, you know, showing you all stuff that happened on the news and showing you all what newscasters have to say and things like that. And, you know, I received some comments about, well, what do you know about this? You know, whenever you do these cases, what do you know about this? You're not a professional. Let the professionals do their job. So what I've been doing with this case is I've been letting you all hear from the professionals, from the experts. I made it clear to you all. I don't know how many of my videos you've watched. I've made it clear 1,000 times that I believe that most of these experts that attach themselves to these cases are full of crap. I think they're bogus. I think they're dishonest. I think most of the time they're just grifting and they don't even really know about these cases like that at all. But hey, the audience, the people on YouTube, they want to hear from the experts. So I always try to let you all hear what they have to say over here as well before I give you my opinions. But News Nation has been coming up with a lot of sources. And they now have a source that is spinning a whole different tale about Dylan Mortensen and what happened that night. Let's go ahead and watch this clip, and then I'll be right back with my thoughts.
And let me tell you, it certainly does give a little bit more perspective as to why she didn't call 911 right away, perhaps. We're told that Dylan actually mistook the noises that she'd been hearing. Remember, the affidavit said that around 4 a.m., she could hear some noises up on the third floor, thought it was maybe, Kaylee playing with the dog, Murphy, didn't think a lot more than that. But ultimately, a few moments later, she heard a lot of noises. She opened her door and effectively kind of yelled out to her roommates, calm down, like cut it out, keep it down. You guys are being loud. I'm trying to sleep. It's late. Thinking that there were roommates horsing around, that perhaps all that noise that she was hearing was just them, being boisterous and still in party mode. It was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So she then closed her door and went back to bed, but within minutes, perhaps sort of roused again by noise, opens the door again, was going to say something again to the effect of, keep it down already. It's the middle of the night. And that's when she sees the figure coming towards her. Now, this has been a big bone of contention for a lot of people. Why, if you saw some shadowy, terrifying figure walking towards you, would you just close your door and go back to bed and not call the police? And the characterization to the source who spoke directly with her after the murders is that she didn't think that that figure was anything other than just part of the horsing around. Maybe one of the partiers, maybe somebody who was a friend of one of the other roommates that was making all the noise. But it, startled her nonetheless to see a man in the middle of the night, dark, walking toward.
So how do you all feel about this? Do you believe this story more than the original story we got? In a way, I feel like this story almost tries to protect Dylan even more because, at least from my point of view, if this is actually the case and Dylan just popped out of her room to tell him, hey, shut up, keep it down, I feel like that looks better to me than as if Dylan thought there may be something happening, thought there may be something going on. She hears these screams, she hears these cries. She hears someone say there's someone in the house. She hears someone say, I'm here to help you. And then she sees this strange figure walking through the house and then does nothing. That right there looks bad, in my opinion. And honestly, that looks bad in anyone's opinion. Most people are just afraid to share that opinion. But then you have this story that, Dylan was really aggravated, agitated. Maybe she was groggy and sleeping, and she thought they were partying and raging out and, drinking and doing whatever. And she's like, hey, shut up. And in the process of her telling them to keep it down, she sees this person in the house, is kind of freaked out, like, what about it a little bit, closes her door, goes to sleep, wakes up the next day and realizes that something was really wrong. That sounds so much better to me. I don't know about you all. Come to your own conclusion. But that excuse sounds better to me than the original story that we've been told. Now, which one is true? I don't know. As of right now, I think it's safer to believe the original story. I'm leaning more towards the original story because we know who those sources are who are giving us that information. Whereas this source, we have no clue who this source is at all. Well, I mean, if you dig into it, I'm sure you could find the source, and it'll probably just be someone online. But there's no official source listed here, right? So I think it's a safer bet to believe the original story we've gotten. But, I mean, if you want me to entertain this story, I think this sounds better than the original. I thought something was wrong. I saw that there was something wrong, and I did nothing. As opposed to, I had no idea something was going on. Yeah, I saw some dude in the house, but I heard a bunch of commotion and thought they were partying, and I was telling them to shut up so I can go to sleep. So I guess it's up for you to decide what you want to believe. One day, I think we will find out the truth. But right now, we are in a shaky time in these cases because it looks as if, to me, there are people who are clinging to almost anything right now. And, I'm covering the story, so when there are updates that are being reported by every mainstream media outlet, of course, my subscribers come to me and want me to talk about the story as well. But I do not trust the mainstream media. I think the mainstream media is more trustworthy when it comes to, true crime and stuff like that, as opposed to, other stuff that the news covers. But I'm really kind of iffy about a lot of the stuff that's being reported, but I'm still going to cover it and talk about it with you all, because you all want me to. But let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section. Do you think there's some truth here? Do you think this is a total bogus lie? Do you think that the truth maybe lies somewhere in the middle? I find that to be the case very often. Maybe originally she came out and was annoyed. Hey, shut up. And then she heard some other things. So she came out and was like, hey, shut. Maybe something's wrong here. And then she sees someone and gets scared. I don't know. But I know that the question that is burning on everyone's mind and will continue to burn on everyone's mind is why she didn't call 911. And the point that I'm trying to make in this video, if I haven't made my point clear, is that I think her never grasping the reality that something was going wrong and her not being frozen in fear and traumatized and her just thinking, oh, they're partying, you know, they're yelling and partying and carrying on. I think that's a better excuse. I think that's something that most people would accept more than, oh, she saw the murderer, she heard people getting murdered, and she froze in fear until 12 o'clock the next afternoon when she decided that she could pick up her phone and call some dude instead of 911. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like I said, while you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll be back soon with another video. But for now, always remember, remain opinionated.